Did you know the library is full of dirt? Join us this summer as we get the dirt, discovering interesting reading trails. There have been trails about pets, music, monster trucks, and more. Did you know that a recorder is more than a cheap kid's instrument? Let's get the dirt on recorders today. A recorder is a real musical instrument, and it is a type of flute. Do you remember the book Flutes, reading about recorders in this book by Barry Carson Turner? And a recorder is, in the woodwind family, is a group of flutes known as internal duct flutes. These types of flutes produce sound by having wind flow over a beveled edge of an air hole. Get the dirt on this. Pipe organs are the same group. Let's look at the head joint. Do you see the window labium? That's the edge that the air flows over when I blow into the mouthpiece. Doesn't the recorder sound a lot less kid-like as we get the dirt? Recorders come in all sizes, colors, and prices. The ones I have here on the table start at $1. These are purchased for music class for $3. But recorders can be used to play many different types of music. Let's get the dirt. The recorder is one of the oldest surviving melody instruments in Western culture. Melody instruments play the melody or main part of a song. If a song has words, the music that follows the words is the melody. Recorders as they look today were played starting in the 1300s. Here's part of a song from that time. It is called Duxia. It was written to dance to. Part of another song, this one from the Renaissance period, which lasted from 1350 to 1600. It is called Per Elude Ave Proleteum. They really liked long titles back then. It was written by Josquin de Prez. By 1750, recorders were played in theaters, courts of the nobility, churches, and in folk music. This song is from the Baroque era, which was from 1600 to 1750. It is part of Melody from Sonata in D minor. It was written by George Philip Telemann. George Philip Telemann was an excellent recorder player, as well as a composer. Did you know that there are 8 sizes of recorder? Let's get the dirt. The smallest is the Garkline. The Garkline is only about 6 inches long and plays only very high and piercing notes. Next bigger is the Sopranino. Sopranino is 10 inches long. Then there's the Soprano, which is the recorder I have. Sometimes the Soprano recorder is also called the descant recorder. It is 13 inches long. After the Soprano recorder is the alto recorder. The alto recorder is also called the treble recorder. It is 19 inches long. Next is the tenor recorder, which is 25 inches long. The bass recorder is the next largest recorder. It is about 3 feet. 3 feet. Below the bass recorder is the great bass recorder. And the great bass recorder is about 4 feet. The biggest recorder is called the contra great bass recorder. It stands over 6 feet tall. Yeah, really tall. Having a hard time getting this all on the camera. Anyways, those are the 8 sizes of recorder. One of the most famous recorder players today is Michaela Petri. Michaela Petri was born in Denmark. She began to play professionally when she was only 8 years old. Michaela Petri plays music from the Baroque era, as well as contemporary or modern music. She gives concerts all over the world, helping to make recorders popular again. When I was getting the dirt on recorders, I found out that there aren't many stories that include recorders. But we can have some fun with a story and a recorder. Sergei Prokofiev had fun with instruments in his musical composition, Peter and the Wolf. Prokofiev had used instruments to represent the different animals in his work. We'll have just a little fun using our recorder to represent Zachary. Harry McClary and Zachary Clack was written and illustrated by Lindley Dodd. It is found under the fiction section of the library, under D for Dodd. It was drowsily warm with dozens of bees, lazily buzzing through flowers and trees. Harry McClary decided to choose a space in the shade for his afternoon snooze. He dozily dreamed as he lay on his back when... Pittery-pattery, skittery-scattery, zip around the corner came Zachary Quack, who wanted to frolic and foodle and play, but Harry McClary skedaddled away. Over the lawn and asparagus bed went Harry McClary to hide in the shed. He lurked in the shadows all dusty and black, but... Pittery-pattery, skittery-scattery, zip around the corner came Zachary Quack. Out of the garden into the trees jumped Harry McClary with springs in his knees. He hid in the grass at the side of the track, but... Pittery-pattery, skittery-scattery, zip around the corner came Zachary Quack. Down to the river, through willow and reed, raced Harry McClary at double the speed. Into the water he flew with a smack. But round the corner came Zachary, Quack, who dizzily dived in the craziest way, whirling and swirling in showers of spray. Harry McClary was off in a flash, a flurry of bubbles, a dog paddle splash. He swam to the side and floundered about. He tried, and he tried, but he couldn't climb out. Scrabbling upwards and slithering back when through the water came Zachary Clack, who sped around a corner and, showing the way, led Harry McClary up, and away. Then, soggy and shivering, back up the track went Harry McClary with Zachary Clack. It was drowsily warm, with dozens of bees lazily buzzing through flowers and trees. Harry McClary decided to choose a space in the shade for his afternoon snooze. He dozily dreamed as he lay on his back, tucked up together with Zachary Clack. Wow, the recorder certainly is a versatile instrument. It's a great, inexpensive instrument upon which to learn. It can be used to accent your stories. The simplicity is deceiving because it is hauntingly beautiful. Both William Shakespeare in his play Hamlet and John Milton in his epic poem Paradise Lost referenced recorders. Johann Sebastian Bach used it in his Brandenburg Concerto and other pieces. Did you know that recorders are made out of different materials? What kind of material do you think this green recorder is made out of? Yes, it is made out of plastic. These are both made out of plastic. But did you know that this one is made out of plastic too? Yes, many recorders are made out of plastic. But do you remember what family I said they were in? Yes, the woodwind family. So why are they made out of plastic if they're in the woodwind family? Let's get the dirt on that. Did you know that back in the 1300s when they were first made, they didn't make them out of plastic? That's because plastic wasn't around yet. And so they made recorders out of wood. That's why they're called woodwinds. And now, professional recorder players use wood ones as well as people who want to play recorders made out of the same materials that they were a long time ago. And this book makes recorder look pretty easy, but recorder actually takes a bit of practice, otherwise you'll end up with a whole bunch of squeaks, and those do not sound good. Your family will not appreciate squeaks. But this is a good book to introduce yourself to the recorder, and it will tell you about the recorder and gives you some songs to play. It is called The First Book of the Recorder, and it's an Usborne book. You can find it in your library under the 788 section. There's a J here by the 788. Do you know what that means? That means that this book was written especially for kids, although anybody could learn from it. The other recorder book I have is an older recorder book, and it's my own book, so it doesn't have a barcode on it. But if it was found in the library, could you guess what number it would be? Yes, it would be 788, just like this one, because they're both about recorder. And this one is called Basic Recorder Lessons, and it's by Ralph Zetlin. And this is book 1, but there's other books too. Now, do you notice over here it says soprano or tenor? Do you remember back when we talked about the different sizes of recorders? And the soprano recorder was this one here, but the tenor one, which was a bigger one, the 25-inch one, you can play the same music with a tenor recorder that you can with a soprano recorder because they're the same. Did you know that you could get a job playing recorder? You could play a recorder in a small band. Recorder in a Renaissance or Baroque ensemble. Do you remember Renaissance and Baroque? Those were the two styles of music when recorder was really, really popular. Just like today, when you think of popular instruments, you might think of an electric guitar or something like that. Well, back in the Renaissance and Baroque era, a recorder was the super popular instrument. And nowadays, people put together these ensembles or small groups of musicians, and they play music from the Renaissance and Baroque era on the instruments from that era or models. Like they'll play on wooden recorders instead of plastic ones like I have here. Write music for a recorder or become a music teacher. Becoming a music teacher is a super cool job because then you get to take what you know about music and teach other people, and then other people get to play music. So that's super cool. And writing music is also super cool because then the things that you think of in your head, other people can hear. And who knows, they might even make a CD. And there are so many other opportunities available with recorders. So keep practicing and don't forget to pass the music down. Do you think you would like to learn recorder now? What was your favorite song that I played? Next week, we'll get the dirt about another musical instrument. Until then, be sure to get the dirt at your local library.